The New Testament is a Swindle, Part 1, by Humongous. Quote, "That's it for me. Religion's fucking finished. It's fucking over. You've had a couple of thousand years, you fucked it, it's fucking over. Take your Reformation, your Vatican, your fucking Mecca, and fuck off." Unquote. Billy Connolly. Here's the scenario. You're buying a used car on Craigslist. One day you're speaking with the owner online. He informs you the vehicle in question has 125,000 miles on it, 5 previous owners, and 2 prior accidents. The following day, you hop on the internet to discover the owner has become severely ill, and his brother has taken over negotiations for him. Miraculously, the same car has now been driven no more than 14,000 miles, seen 1 prior owner, and never been in a fender bender. Do you still buy the vehicle? Of course not. You're not an idiot. That said, billions of people have purchased that car when they decided to place belief in the Bible. Akin to the asserted owner of the vehicle, whom you don't know, you've no idea who the hell wrote the Bible. For all you're aware, it could be the irrational musings of an amalgamation of lunatics living in the woods, high on psychedelic fungi, well over 1,000 years ago. In addition, quote, the good book, unquote, which is anything but, contradicts itself continuously, just like the ostensible owner of the Craigslist car and his supposed brother. Hence, if you're going to believe one, why believe the other? In order to go to heaven? The same authors who can't keep their stories consistent are the ones telling you there is a heaven. Let's put it this way. In an era before artificial insemination, if some obviously pregnant chick professed she became so without having sex, would you believe her? Nope. Moreover, if the crazy in question ran around town, proclaiming she was still a virgin, some, quote, child protection agency, unquote, would probably seize the kid once birthed, as the woman would be deemed an unfit mother. Still, at least 2.2 billion people on Earth buy the fantasy of Mary's immaculate conception. To quote Thomas Paine, who was categorized a founding father of the U.S., quote, "Were any girl that is now with child to say, and even to swear it, that she has gotten with child by a ghost, and that an angel told her so, would she be believed? Certainly she would not." Unquote. Paine spent a terrifying portion of his life imprisoned in France, facing possible execution on a daily basis, writing a book now known as The Age of Reason. This publication uses nothing more than the Bible as its sole reference source in order to thoroughly confirm, quote, the good book, unquote, is no more than a horrendous work of fiction. For this, Thomas Paine was renounced by his peers, the same founding fathers who exalted him for penning Common Sense, a pamphlet that galvanized colonists to break away from England. In The Age of Reason, Paine not only reveals the tremendous inconsistencies of the Bible, but also the inordinate cruelty displayed by a supposed benevolent and loving God. Quote, "It is from the Bible that man has learned cruelty, rapine, and murder. For the belief of a cruel God makes a cruel man. That bloodthirsty man, called the prophet Samuel, makes God to say, quote, now go and smack Amalek, and utterly destroy all they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass," unquote. Really? You're going to massacre the livestock as well? How is this the mandate of a loving deity? We shudder to see what this ass-detesting clown would be like if he was a hateful God. What if some fucker ambled onto somebody else's farm today and slaughtered as many cows, horses, and pigs as he could, asserting voices in his head told him to do so? Would you believe him? Of course not. Moreover, the guy would either be shipped to a mental institution or incarcerated in prison for decades. Multitudinous passages within the Bible displaying such overt evil force Thomas Paine to conclude, quote, "Whenever we read the obscene stories, the voluptuous debaucheries, the cruel and torturous executions, the unrelenting vindictiveness with which more than half the Bible is filled, it would be more consistent that we called it the word of a demon than the word of God. It is a history of wickedness that has served to corrupt and brutalize mankind. And for my own part, I sincerely detest it, as I detest everything that is cruel." Unquote. In part, this flagrant malevolence demanded by the God of the Bible led Paine to declare, quote, "I do not believe in the creed professed by the Jewish Church, by the Roman Church, by the Greek Church, by the Turkish Church, by the Protestant Church, not by any church that I know of. My own mind is my own church. All national institutions of churches, whether Jewish, Christian, or Turkish, appear to me no other than human inventions set up to terrify and enslave mankind, and monopolize power and profit." Unquote. Face it, the Bible is one lengthy, boring read most who profess to believe won't ever pore over. Hence, they've no idea the cruelty and immorality within. They're simply told by parents, who probably never read the Bible either, it's a book of love teaching ethics. Nothing could be further from the truth. For copious examples of barbarity displayed in the Old Testament, just visit evilbible.com. Passages pulled precisely from that portion of the Bible exposing the nefarious nature of the tome in question. But it wasn't only the odious character of the Bible that led Thomas Paine to bring to light the book's uselessness. It was also the fact this publication contradicts itself constantly. How can a form of reference be valid if it's perpetually negating itself? You've just purchased a handheld circular saw. On page 1 of the instruction manual, you're informed if you don't engage a particular safety feature, you'll inadvertently amputate your fingers while using this product. On page 2, however, you're told if you do engage this same feature, you'll end up severing your digits. By page 3, you're apprised you'll dismember yourself if you simply turn the saw on. Do you use the saw, being that its instruction manual is filled with discrepancies? Unless you're one of those strange individuals who doesn't feel complete until amputating some of their own appendages, the answer is obviously no. Instead, like anyone displaying logic, you return the tool and buy a different brand. In the same token, how is one supposed to place credibility in what the Bible tells you if it's constantly contradicting itself? Since we've already done a competent and pithy job of dismissing the Old Testament, let's allocate the rest of this series of audio chapters to the New Testament and the quandary of contradictions it is.